Hello, I've recently been given this Eumig Mark 501 projector, and it actually works, and it's the first time I've ever had a film projector which works, so I thought I'd make a little video about 8mm, in particular Super 8, how it works, and how the Eumig Mark 501 works. This is the actual original box, obviously. All the Eumig projectors, I think, were made in Austria. And yeah, this video is just going to be a brief overview of Super 8 filming and the Eumig Mark 501 and its functions. Okay, this is the Eumig Mark 501 projector. It projects three types of 8mm film: Super 8, Single 8 and Standard 8. Super 8 is the Kodak produced cartridge based sort of recording type of film. Single 8 is a very similar type of also cartridge based film made by Fujifilm, which I think was kind of a reaction against Kodak Super 8. And Standard 8 is the older format, which doesn't come in a cartridge. And actually I've got over here I've got an old Standard 8 projector, which I've never actually had any Standard 8 film, so I've never been able to use this, but I'd love to use it because it's a really interesting thing. It's actually also made by Eumig. It's called the Eumig P8, and it feels like it's made out of stone, which is quite an impressive sort of bit of craft in its own right. But anyway, we're more interested in the Mark 501 here, and today we're going to be projecting some Super 8 film. So here we have some props to try and explain to you how Super 8 works. When you buy some Super 8 film, you'll buy it in a box similar to this. This is the only example I have of a 8mm film box, but basically, yeah, you get a cool little box like this, and then inside you'll have a cartridge wrapped in foil like this, and this is the cartridge you put inside your camera. Inside this cartridge there will be a spool of film like this, and this is what you record and this obviously is filled with film like this, and this is where the images are recorded, and they're recorded in sort of traditional photographing methods where it's a chemical reaction happening on the strip of film itself. This is in contrast to what lots of people have today, which is usually on tapes like this. This is a mini DV tape where the information is recorded through like an electronic process on the magnetic tape inside the cassette there. So that's like an electronic process, but I think there's a bit of a counter reaction against that for the more kind of organic chemical process, which is actually light hitting a surface. The Super 8 I have filmed on is reversal film. There are two types of Super 8 film, reversal and negative film. Reversal film, which is what I've used, is actually the strips of film that you record your images onto. That strip of film then becomes the film you use to project with, whereas negative film you will use your negative images and then make a new reel to project with. So this would be the negative image, and then in similar ways to like old photography, you'd have your negative image and then you'd make a new image to project with. And generally negative Super 8 film, you get more depth to your colours and better quality of image, but it costs double. So I've used reversal film. So this film here is the film which actually passed through the camera in the first place. Before we project this reel, I shall just quickly show you the functions of the Eumig 501. Okay, the Mark 501 has its main controls here. It has 5 settings. The first setting here turns the Mark 501 on, and you can see here this is where the take-up spool for the film would go, and this starts rotating around. The second function here turns the light on. As you can see, this is just me putting my hands in front of it, but you can see the light's on, right? And that sends the film through at 9 frames per second. The third function there is 18 frames per second, and the fourth function is 18 frames per second, but the light is brighter. And then the final fifth function is the rewind, so it pops the lens out, and you can see here the feeding spool in rewinds, and so it takes it back. Okay, so now we're going to project this reel of reversal Super 8 film. The first thing you have to do is obviously pop it on. So we just do this like so. There it's on, and then you lock it in like that. And then I'm going to turn it on to the first setting where the mechanism starts going. And then it's really simple actually. It's a really nice projector for sake of ease. All you have to do is just pop it into this hole here. I'm doing this a bit cack-handed, you see, so that's okay. There we go. And then it does the rest of it itself. And there you can see it's taking the film in, and then in a minute, yep, there you are, it pops out the back here. Usually you'd have this take-up spool, the film would go onto there, but I didn't have one of those, so I'm just going to let it run free, because yeah, it's pretty resilient. See, now you can see the actual pictures coming through here. There's a couple of other functions. This is a pause function, which stops the film. And on top of the thing here, you can see a little dial, which I can only show you what that does when we actually have an image being projected, which is what we're going to do now. Actually, before we do that, I figured I'd just show you it reversing. So this is what happens when we put the projector into reverse. Ta-da! Okay, so this is my random makeshift screen which we're going to be projecting onto. There's no reason why it's blue around the edge, I just had a bit of blue paper on the wall. So we're going to turn the light off and close the curtains, and then try and not fall over, and then I'm going to switch the projector on to the first setting, and now so you see the first setting is really dim, but then when you actually turn it on properly, this is what you get. I just need to align up the thing properly, and there you are. You can see the image being projected. This is at 9 frames per second. This is like a little animation I made, which was designed to be sort of shown at 12 frames per second, so that's why it's a bit slow. But as you can see, I will turn it now up to 18 frames per second, and you see how fast things will start to go. See, it's immediately speeded up a lot. And now this is it with the brighter lights function. And then you can do various things like adjust the zoom, making it smaller, making it bigger. You can adjust the focus, so making it out of focus, and then bringing it into focus like so. And I'll just put it back down to 9 frames per second again. And that little dial that I was talking about, or little lever on the top, which I mentioned earlier, which I could only show you when the projection is happening, this is what that does. It's just a way to help align the strip of film and the lens, I guess, so that you're getting the whole of the image. And in a nutshell, I guess there you have it. There is the Eumig Mark 501 multi-format 8mm projector, and shooting some reversal Super 8 film. And yeah, I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Goodbye.